Hey, good evening, everybody. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to set something up. Give me just 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm back. I apologize. Um, I apologize for that little interruption that I just had. But we here. Hey, Miss Annie, how you doing? Um, y'all bear with me, man. I'm working with a bad phone, and if this phone, if the video goes out, I'm gonna have to let the phone charge up and do it. I apologize. I'm supposed to be live at 8 o'clock. But y'all know me, I'm the broke version of the news. And I be having a lot of stuff going on. And part of this video, what we're gonna be doing, man, I'm trying to do a little fundraiser. So, I know a lot of people don't like when a nigga they ask for money, but you go to church every Sunday, pastor asks you for offering and tithe 2 times in church. That nigga, hey, how many of y'all be going to church and they still trying to get a building fund up? Motherfucker been having a building fund for the last 32 years and ain't even put a doorknob on the church. But I'm bringing you all truth that your pastors ain't gonna tell you about. Y'all, hold on. Let me get myself together, right? Y'all, give me 1 second. All right, that's totally crooked. Y'all, give me a second. I gotta try to get myself together, man. Been a very busy day, man, and I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I just got blessed with a nice little opportunity to do a nice little job, and I'm not even prepared to do it because I don't have the tools or the equipment. But they told me that they'd give me a couple of days, so that's part of the reason why we're gonna be doing a fundraiser tonight, and we're gonna stay on here as long as we can because we need about 10 of y'all to donate $12. Anyway, let's go. I don't give a fuck about this, man. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I do give a fuck. My hat crooked as a motherfucker, man. Y'all give me a second. And you gotta realize everything backwards on these cameras. All right, here we go. How y'all doing? As y'all come in, man, please let me know what about in the United States or throughout the world that you're watching this video from. Also, as you come in, please, man, we need to make sure that you all are still subscribed. So please, as you check in, hit the subscribe. Hit that little bell next to the subscribe button. Also, we really need you all to hit the like button and hit the share button. That's, believe it or not, that's 2 of the most important things that you all can do to help support this channel. Man, my shit's crooked as fuck. Hold on. Y'all give me a second, man. I should have did all this shit before I got on the video, but I had to come and do this video, y'all, because I haven't been able to do a video lately because, y'all know how my circumstance situation go. I've been trying to work my ass off, man. And this little job that we getting blessed with now, believe it or not, God is good because it'll be enough to help me get my own house again, get me another vehicle, plus get some equipment. And believe it or not, something as simple as $120 is shutting down the whole show. Man, I can't get my goddamn cap on. Y'all give me a second. Hold on a second. Y'all, as y'all come in, just give me a second. Let me know where y'all coming in from. Okay, y'all, I apologize for that. All the interruptions are over. We're gonna talk a lot of truth today. And again, as y'all come in, man, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Gotta make sure you hit that bell because they have not been notified on the subscribers to this channel when I go live. So y'all please hit the bell. Arlington, Texas. Hey, what's going on, Arlington? I've been there a couple of times, quite a few times. That's a beautiful city. It's very, very beautiful. But even though we ain't got but two people watching, and one of them probably my mom and the other one probably my uncle. I was just kidding. But we're going to go live again. I apologize for not being able to do a couple of broadcasts over the last week or so. I've been very, very busy trying to get my situation together. Then I got a little big head 12-year-old or 11-year-old son up there in Ohio. He been killing me, y'all. He don't even call dad. Only time he called dad is when he needs some money. All right, but anyway, there we go. How y'all doing? This your boy Rod Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Yeah, man. Today is March 8th, 2022. And we got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get right off into it. Now, I know a lot of you all are interested in what's going on over in the Ukraine. And guess what? I'm just going to keep it real. I got to be very discreet and disciplined on how I talk about this. Because here in the Western Hemisphere, the Western world, Western society, everybody that's bringing you an alternative point of view to the warmongers on your mainstream media is getting shut down. I cannot afford another strike on this channel or whatever. So I'm going to be diplomatic and discreet and use discipline on how I bring you all the truth. But I'm going to bring you all the truth because, oh my God, we are being lied to every day in the mainstream media. Do y'all realize these folks are literally so detached from reality? Our politicians are so detached from reality that they are literally trying to push a war up with Russia. They are lying to you about the cause of what's going on in the Ukraine. Now, keep in mind, I got to say this so that YouTube will not block or ban or give me a strike, or nobody can come and try to report this video. I am not pro-Russian at all. I'm not a Russian puppet or Russian stooge. But at the same time, I'm not pro-West, pro-American. Even though I live in America, I like this place where I live, even though it's screwed up here. I'm just the guy that's going to bring you all the truth as to what's going on. Now, I'm going to expose a lot of hypocrisy because, again, how can the United States talk about anything that Russia is doing in the Ukraine when we at the same time right now are sponsoring a genocide in the country of Yemen using Saudi Arabia? We at the same time, the American military has over 3,000 soldiers occupying the oil fields in Syria. At the same time, Israel has just been declared an apartheid state by Amnesty International and other groups. How come you don't hear nothing about that? How come we ain't talking about nothing about that in the mainstream media? How come they're not telling you that we're still bombing the shit out of Somalia? Yes, the United States is in Africa right now on a mission to overthrow as many governments on that continent as they can. Right now, they are bombing Somalia. They just dropped a couple of bombs, but day before yesterday, we are occupying illegally Syria, the country of Syria. We are legally occupying the oil fields in Syria, stealing the oil, sending it to Israel. At the same time, we are sponsoring a proxy war against the country of Yemen. Do y'all realize in the last 6 years, we've murdered almost 300-some-thousand people in the country of Yemen? How come you don't hear the mainstream media talking about that? You know why you don't hear the mainstream media talking about that? because it's all about patriotism. Let me show y'all, go back and give y'all some game. Remember when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling during the national anthem in these football games, and everybody got the establishment got mad? It wasn't so much because he was kneeling, protesting police brutality. You know why they got mad? Because your government spends millions of dollars at these sporting events trying to promote patriotism. When they get you, when they say everybody stand for the national anthem, this is about patriotism. They could care less about police brutality, because guess what? The mainstream media and the establishment, your sports, your sport team owners, they know about police brutality. If they don't, they got to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. What's up, Jackson boy? What's going on, man? Glad you can join us. We just gonna get real for a minute, and at the same time, y'all, I'll be real. Again, y'all know me. Lately, I haven't been doing it. Oh, I gotta thank brother Lee for what you did. The little donation you did, you helped. Everything helped. So as y'all come in, please hit the like button. Please, most importantly, share these videos on your Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok. Share these videos on all your social media platforms, because this channel is being censored heavily. Don't y'all realize we should have about 6,000-7,000 subscribers, almost 10,000 subscribers right now, but YouTube is burying this channel because of the content that I have been giving y'all and what I'm about to tell y'all. Let's get off into it. Enough of me talking. But as y'all can, if you come in, please, we need 10 of y'all to donate $12. That ain't that much. Although gas prices is going up. You know why gas prices is going up? Because your government is fucking with probably the leading exporter of oil and gas in the world, Russia. Russia. Let's talk about Russia and Ukraine, y'all. Let me ask y'all a question. Why did Russia actually go into the Ukraine? Most important, the first question that I want to ask y'all, when did this situation between Russia and the Ukraine start? I'll give y'all two minutes, man. I want to see if y'all come in, please leave comments, ask questions, because that's going to make this broadcast go a whole lot better. It just won't be me up here talking. It'll be me trying to answer you all's questions, and everybody that's watching this can get an understanding. Now, the mainstream media would have you to believe that Russia just illegally invaded Ukraine. It's not an invasion, y'all. I'll give y'all a hint. It's not an invasion. Why did Russia do what they did? When did this whole thing start with Russia and the Ukraine? What did it start behind? I'm asking y'all this question. I'll give y'all a few seconds to try to, whoever the smartest person on this channel, outside of me, of course, the smartest person on this channel, tell me, why did Russia do what they do? Why they doing what they doing? All right, time's up. Let me tell y'all what's really going on. You're not going to hear this on ABC, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, Bloomberg, New York Times, New York Post. You're not going to hear this, but this is the truth. All right. You have to really go back to the Cold War, right after World War II. First and foremost, let me ask y'all a question. Why is the Americans and Europe so hard on Russia right now, when if it wasn't for Russia, Adolf Hitler would have won World War II? Oh, that's deep said. Again, if it was not for Russia, hey, what's up, Brother Anthony? Hey, Brother Anthony, you moderating, man. I'm glad you're here. As you come in, please, my brother, remind everybody to hit the like, hit the share button, make sure that they're subscribed and get notifications. But most importantly, man, I got to come up with a couple of tools that'll help me make a $5,000 job. and I'm really short on a couple of tools. I can't even give them a yes or no until I get that taken care of. So make sure, Anthony, that you let everybody know, man, that we need at least 12 people. I mean, 10 people to donate $12, 12 people to donate $10, whatever. We need $120 before Wednesday. Anyway, let's start. Let's go back to the beginning, the origins. If it was not for Russia, the United States, Great Britain, and the Western world would have lost World War II. Who was it really that went into Germany during World War II and shut Adolf Hitler down? It was not the West. It was not Great Britain, France, Poland, Spain, United States. No, it was Russia. It was Russia. Russia, what happened in World War II? Adolf Hitler was crushing Europe. The United States was really actually afraid to join that war, but they joined the war after Pearl Harbor, and they got into a war, and they was basically at a stalemate. It was stagnated because by themselves, Europe and the United States could not deal with with Germany, Adolf Hitler. Now, Adolf Hitler, the only reason why he lost World War II is because he split his army and tried to fight the West on the Western Front, and at the same time, he tried to go in and take over Russia. If it was not for Russia, the West would have lost World War II, and we as black people probably be dead. But you'd be speaking German in America right now. It was because of the Russians that the West won World War II. Now, after World War II, you had what's called the beginning of the Cold War, where Russia was communist and Germany was split up. You had East Germany and West Germany. East Germany was, and Venmo, yes sir, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, please, y'all, help us out, man, help me out, because this little job I got the opportunity to do will help me get a home, car, and everything in the stroke of a pen. Also help me get the equipment that I need to keep this channel going. To make this channel a little bit better. But anyway, Russia was the main instrument that was basically the cause in defeating the Germans. Remember, now keep in mind, I'm going to say this. The Germans were a bunch of Nazis at that time. Remember that, because that's going to be very important when we start bring you up to date to the Ukraine. I'm just giving you all a brief history. Now, during the Cold War, the United States was building up its armament. We were building up our nuclear weapon. We were building up our defensive weapons, our strategic offensive weapons. We were building up our weapons. So was Russia. Now, in the 90s, you all know, late 80s, early 90s, somewhere back in there, the Soviet Union, keep in mind, the Ukraine was part of Russia at that time during the Cold War. It was part of the Soviet Union. After the Soviet Union broke up, Russia knew that NATO was a nefarious villain with intentions on oppressing and suppressing Russia. So what happened after World War II? NATO started incorporating European countries into its organization. In order to be a member of NATO, you have to spend so much money per year in your nation's annual budget on weapons of war. Now, let's fast forward. So I gave y'all a brief background of NATO, because NATO is very important. This whole thing really ain't about Russia and the Ukraine. It's about NATO, y'all. NATO has been expanding since the Cold War. Now NATO is at the point that they're on the doorstep. They already aligned themselves with countries that's aligned on the Russian border. But this whole thing could have been avoided if President Zelensky of Ukraine would have guaranteed that Ukraine would not petition to become a member of NATO. But you got to keep in mind, the United States has been the most aggressive nation in the last 40 years. I ask y'all a question. This question again. In the last 30 years, name me one country that Russia actually invaded hostilely, actually invaded a country with plans on stripping that country of its natural resources or just taking that country over for the heck of it. Name me one country that Russia took over in the last 30 years. Guess what? You can't do it because they haven't. Any conflict that Russia has been involved in the last 30 years, it was basically because their security, their national security was being jeopardized by the encroachment of NATO along its borders. Now let me ask y'all this question. In the last 30 years, how many countries has the United States invaded or facilitated an invasion or a hostile provocation against? Y'all need me to help you out? Let me help you out. Again, I said in the last 30 years, how many countries Russia invaded hostilely? None. In the last 30 years, the United States had invaded Iraq twice, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, Libya. Remember what happened in Libya when they murdered Gaddafi and Hillary Clinton bragged about it? Hillary Clinton bragged when we invaded Libya. She said, we came, we saw, and he died. They overthrew Libya, murdered Gaddafi, and y'all remember them slave markets in Libya? How do you think that came about? When your government overthrew the country of Libya. So again, in the last 30 years, we done went into Iraq twice. We invaded Libya. We invaded Afghanistan. We invaded Syria. We're sponsoring an invasion through Saudi Arabia of Yemen. And keep in mind, in the last 6 years, because of our weapons of war that we're giving Saudi Arabia, 350,000 people have been murdered in Yemen. Do y'all realize through our occupation of Iraq, over 1 million people were murdered in the country of Iraq due to our illegal invasion of that country? Now let's speak about hypocrisy. How is it that Russia is such a villain? They're taking over a hostile, a quote unquote innocent country in the Ukraine. Well, let me show y'all something. Let me go back and give y'all the real reason why this thing is happening right now. The Ukraine is not so innocent because back in 2014, our government here in America sponsored a coup d'etat. It was the Maidan rebellion in Ukraine, whereas Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Victoria Nuland, who was Secretary of State or whatever, no, she wasn't Secretary of State, she was something, Victoria Nuland, but she was very important. Do y'all realize in 2014, the United States overthrew the rightfully elected government of the Ukraine? They put in a puppet government. At that time, it was Poroshenko. This government in the Ukraine, y'all got to keep in mind now, the Ukraine has always been a bunch of Nazi sympathizers. Literally. This government of the Ukraine since 2014 has used the Azov battalion. How many of y'all know what the Azov battalion is over there in Ukraine? I'll give y'all a few minutes. Come on, y'all. When y'all come in, man, please leave your comments. I need your comments. I need your comments. But when we overthrew the Ukrainian government in 2014, do you all realize the government that was put in place at the behest of the United States was full of fucking neo-Nazis, full of Nazis? That's right. Right now, your tax dollars is being spent to purchase weapons of war to give to a bunch of Nazis in Ukraine. Wait a minute, ain't that what we fought in World War II for? To dismantle and destroy the Nazi regime? Do y'all realize that the Ukraine during World War II was just as responsible as Adolf Hitler for murdering a lot of these Jews? Do y'all realize since we overthrew the Ukraine in 2014, the Ukrainian government has murdered 14,000 people in the Donbass area? Oh, I'm getting deep, too deep. Did y'all know what a Donbass area is in Ukraine? Do y'all know what actually happened on the Crimean Peninsula? Because your mainstream media are going to tell you that Putin invaded Crimea. No. What happened in Crimea, what happened in Lukansk, what happened in Donetsk? These people are Russian-speaking Ukrainians. Their heritage, their history is tied to Russia. The Ukrainian government, with all these Nazis, call these people cockroaches. Basically, they didn't acknowledge them as human beings, just like the United States never really acknowledged us black people as humans. Think about this. When the United States wrote their Constitution saying we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, guess what? When they wrote that, we as black people were not considered humans because we were standing on auction blocks right next to horses and cows and donkeys and pigs. So let me go back. Back in 2014, Barack Obama's government overthrew the rightfully elected government of Ukraine, set up a puppet government. Now, give Obama his props, give him his credit. After he realized what he had done at the behest of NATO and the military-industrial complex, Barack Obama refused to send weapons to Ukraine. He tried to back out of it. Now, keep in mind, at that same time, Joe Biden's son, who was smoking crack at that time, went to the Ukraine and got hooked up with Burisma. Burisma is the most corrupt oil company in the world. Remember, they tried to cover it up in that election between Trump and Biden? They didn't want you asking no questions about Joe Biden's son. Joe Biden, put it like this, going back. Joe Biden did what they accused Donald Trump of doing falsely, but Joe Biden actually blackmailed the Ukrainian government when he was the vice president and told them, we know that you all investigating my son, Hunter Biden, for his illegal activities with this oil company. But if you do not fire the prosecutor who's investigating my son, Hunter Biden, and bringing him up on charges, you will not get this so many $1 billion in aid. Y'all can't say I'm lying because that shit is all over the internet. We have to ask, what is Joe Biden really trying to cover up, or why is he so insistent on making this war happen? He wants you all to forget about the corruption that him and his son was involved in the Ukraine 8-9 years ago. Truth is what it is. Like it or not, hey, find another channel that's going to tell you a bunch of lies that Vladimir Putin is evil and he just wanted to take over the Ukraine. No, that's not what happened. Let me keep going. Now, since 2014, the Nazis in the government and military of Ukraine has been murdering Russian-speaking Ukrainians who tie their ancestry to Russia, Ukrainians who worship Russian Orthodox religion. These people, the Ukrainian government, has murdered. Finish for reading. I'm speaking, yeah, you're speaking facts. I'm just keeping it true, man. This might get this channel, if we get one more strike, this channel is over with. But I'm not speaking pro-Russian. I'm not pro-Russian. I'm not pro-American either. I'm pro-truth. I'm for the truth. And I want you all to understand how you're being lied to for the oligarchy here in America, the elites here in America, basically your politicians in America are lying to you through their tooth. I mean, through every tooth in their mouth, bro. With every breath they take, they're lying to you to get you all hyped up and hate Russia when Russia is actually doing the world a favor right now by ridding those Nazis. You know what, Fears for Reading, I'm going to start a Rumble. There's 2 or 3 more social media platforms I'm going to start using, uploading my videos and doing videos too, because YouTube is being used as propaganda. Remember I told y'all the 2 most powerful men in America right now, as far as what you hear and see on a day-to-day basis, is Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. Do you all realize YouTube is purging every channel that speaks from a point of view where they actually tell you the truth and tell you that Russia is not the enemy here? The president of Ukraine said that Russia was killing blue eyes and blonde haired people, because even though he say he's a Jew, the president of Ukraine is basically a puppet of the United States government. He is basically being used to make his state, Ukraine, a colony of the West. He is being used to push NATO's agenda against Russia. How many of y'all think about this? How many of y'all understand that what Vladimir Putin is saying? Since the end of the Cold War, really there should be, hey, Miss Sister Kimberly, how you doing? Russia is saying there should be no need for NATO since the Cold War is over. But even since the Cold War has ended, do y'all realize how many weapons we have been sending to the Ukraine, which is right there at Russia's front door, along Russia's border? Just imagine if Russia turned around and put strategic weapons in Cuba or in Mexico. If Russia would have been arming Cuba and Mexico with offensive and defensive weapons, what you think the United States would have done? Fear for reading. I like you. I like what you're saying, because you one of the few people that really understand this, man. Fear for reading say, if people knew their history, they would know that Russia helped the North win the Civil War. to free the slave. Again, I mentioned earlier, fears for reading, how Russia, if it was not for Russia, the West would have lost World War II. Hitler would have destroyed Europe. Hitler was a fool, though, because he split his army on two fronts. That's the only reason why Adolf Hitler lost, bro. That's the only reason why Adolf Hitler lost. It wasn't because the United States got into that motherfucking war. Because if he would have just allowed his troops to focus on the Western Front, he'd have ran through Europe. Even with the United States' help, he'd have ran through Europe. They could not stop him. But it was Russia who was responsible for the Allies, quote unquote, to win World War II. And just like Brother Fear said, Russia has always been an advocate for others who couldn't defend themselves. Now let's get back to what we're talking about with the Ukraine, because it's cold-blooded. Your government, your politician, America, hot in the year at the last minute. Hot in the year at the last minute. I'm not understanding that, brother, but let me show you something. Now, you know the only people that's benefiting from this situation with Russia and the Ukraine is not you and I, because look at how high gas prices are going. It's not the Europeans, because their gas prices are going to be even higher than that. Do y'all realize here in Louisiana right now, gas is at 4 something. In California, it's at 7 something. Do y'all realize by the end of this month, you'll be paying almost $6 a gallon of gas here in Louisiana? Probably $8, $9, $10 worth of per gallon in places like California. The only people who are winning with this situation in the Ukraine is, guess who? Your military industrial complex. Let me show y'all something. How much money do y'all think it'll take to end homelessness in America? Because if you live on the West Coast or in one of these big cities, you see that homelessness is totally out of control, out of hand. Is our government spending any money to try to uplift the homeless? No. Do y'all realize it only takes $20 billion to end homelessness in America? Oh, I mean, America got the World War II, got in World War II at the last minute. And the only reason why they got in World War II was they saw that they could get the world's reserve currency. That's a whole different story. That's why your dollar is so powerful, because the only reason why the United States got into World War II, they told Europe, hey, if we get into this war, and this under the Bretton Woods Agreement, you understand, go back and study that. Under Bretton Woods, the United States agreed to enter World War II only if, after the war, the dollar would be the world's reserve currency. They didn't give a fuck about Europe. They didn't give a fuck about Russia. They didn't give a fuck about nothing. It was all about the dollar and the Federal Reserve. That's a whole nother video, because I'm going to do 2 more videos I got to do tomorrow and Wednesday. The Federal Reserve and the Project for a New American Century. But let me digress and go back. The only ones who are benefiting right now from this situation in the Ukraine is the military industrial complex. Again, it only takes $20 billion to end homelessness here in America. But just in the last 6 months, we done sent over $1 trillion worth of weapons to the Ukraine. Every country that's a member of NATO have to buy a certain amount of weapons from American weapons manufacturers. Do y'all realize what's happening? They're taking your money and my money, our tax money, making weapons of war and spreading them throughout the rest of the world at your expense, because it's your tax dollars. Every time they say they send in a tank to Ukraine, who paid for that tank? If they say they send in an airplane to Ukraine, who's paying for it? Now, what Russia is doing, Russia is not trying to overthrow the country of Ukraine. Russia is not trying to occupy Ukraine. And even if they was, how can we? Russia is one of the only countries that the World Bank can't exactly. The World Bank can't control them. The World Bank couldn't control Gaddafi in Libya. And you see what we did to him. Again, Hillary Clinton, after they murdered Gaddafi, she bragged about it. She said, we came, we saw, and he died. They murdered Saddam Hussein, not because he had weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein actually, in 92, petitioned the European countries he petitioned the United Nations to take his oil off the dollar standard, the petrodollar. And he was going to sell it for the euro. And they went in and murdered him. Now, what's happening? Notice this. The United States pushed the Ukraine up to do all this shit. Over the last 8 years, we've been pushing the motherfucking Ukrainian government. Again, in 2014, we overthrew that government, put in a puppet government, and kept telling them, if y'all just do what we say, we'll let y'all into NATO. And Russia was like, I be goddamn. But all that time, since 2014 up until today, those Nazis in the Ukrainian government and military has sponsored a genocide against the people in the Donbass area of the Ukraine. This is why Putin had to recognize them first as two different countries, two sovereign countries. And once he recognized those two countries as sovereign, you know what he did? He went in. Part of what he's doing right now is protecting those people who the Ukrainian Nazis in Ukraine have murdered 14,000. Why they not telling y'all about that on the news? Why they're not telling you? Why they all of a sudden now concerned about Ukrainian citizens? When guess what, black folks? They don't give a fuck about black people in Ukraine. Because you see them African students can't even get out that motherfucker because they telling them no blacks on the bus. How many of y'all knew about that? Yeah, you got a lot of students in Ukraine from Africa. They cannot evacuate because the Ukrainian government will not allow them to be evacuated. They're racist Nazis. And you all are championing these motherfuckers only because the news here is telling you that we got to go and help Ukraine. Fuck Ukraine. Exactly. Please hit the like button. Please hit that share button. When y'all come in and comment, man, let me know where you're coming in, where you're watching this video from. Think about this. Why should we as black folks give a fuck about the Ukraine when them Nazis over there are showing their racist hand by not allowing the black students, foreign exchange students, to evacuate? Oh, y'all probably don't know because you ain't hearing about that shit on your TV. Fear from reading says he from Texas. We got 2 or 3 people from Texas in here. Hey, shout out to Texas. And please, like brother Anthony, you be on it every time. Y'all gotta realize Anthony is from a day one follower. They weren't even allowing the blacks. They still not allowing them to leave. They basically told the niggas like they told us in the 40s, nigga, you can't get on this bus. This is what the Ukrainian military is telling the Africans who are really just over there as foreign exchange students. But they say, now you blackies cannot get on these buses. You know one reason why they want to hold them? They're using a lot of these people. The Ukrainian government is allowing their military to use these people as human shields, y'all. Real. What about the basketball player? Oh, you talking about the one? I don't know. Give me an idea of what you're talking about, because I have not been able to do too much research on a lot of other subjects lately because I am fixated on the lies that we are being told when it comes to the Ukraine. Oh my God, do y'all realize they are literally pushing for a war with a military peer. When I say that, meaning that the United States can't selling drugs into. Oh, you talking about that female basketball player? They didn't say she was selling drugs. Yeah, the football player. Now it was the football player, Brother Anthony, that got caught gambling. But she's talking about a black female basketball player who got caught with a lot of different drugs in Russia. Well, Miss Sister Andy, let me brother Fear say, I saw a black man say that they would rather have their dogs on the train than black. Exactly. Now this is what happened. Now let me show y'all something how shit really goes. I'm trying to go back offshore and work back offshore in international waters or American territory, waters that's in American territory. But if you out there on the ocean, you get caught with some weed. Just say you're in Singapore territorial waters, and you're an American citizen, but you get caught with some weed in Singapore's territorial waters. Do you realize you don't come back to America and face court? Wherever country that you get caught in their territorial waters, that's where you go and face your crime. Now, I have to do a little bit more research because I saw that story last night about the female basketball player from America who's being detained in Russia right now because she had drugs. They ain't tell us what she had, but guess what? She had dope in Russia. Just like if you get caught with dope in America, what you think gonna happen? So in some cases, you gotta ask, what part did you play in your own fuckery? She probably didn't know the law, the rules, and regulation in Russia. She might not have gave a fuck because she still had drugs in Russia. This is why she's been detained. It ain't got nothing to do with black or white or whatever. No, she got caught with dope. We don't know what it was. Maybe it was just marijuana. But who knows what the penalties in Russia are for marijuana? It could be a life sentence just for having a dime bag of weed. She violated the law in that country. She had to suffer the consequences. You can rest assured they're going to try to make that a big issue here in America, like we black folks supposed to give a fuck about somebody who got caught with dope in Russia, when at the same time, Russia is trying to tell them, look, let these African students go. Russia is trying to provide a way for the African students that's trapped in the Ukraine by the Nazi government to leave. Again, I am not pro-Putin, I'm not pro-Russia, but at the same time, I damn sure ain't for the bullshit that the Western governments are propagandizing us with. You got she got caught smuggling. All right, let's see what these new comments say. She had weed and a weed pipe, vaping pipes. I think I read about it today at work, Anthony said. She's in jail now. Like Jackson boy say, she played women basketball. Why the hell is she in Russia? My whole thing is you play a fuck game, you win a fuck prize. Before you go to any country, or if you go to another state in America, you need to know what those state laws or what that country law is about drugs. I'm not trying to justify Russia detaining her, but we don't know what the laws are for possession of marijuana and paraphernalia in Russia. It could be a life sentence. Whose fault is it though? Let me ask you a question. Whose fault is it that she got caught with that shit in Russia? Whose fault is it that she got caught with drugs in Russia? If you're going to Russia, the first thing I'm want to know, well, how much time they give a nigga for weed? Because, you know, I like smoking a little weed here and there. But if I get to Russia, I might just have to go there and look at Stalingrad and all that shit. I can't smoke no weed. I can drink plenty of their vodka, but I can't smoke no weed because weed is illegal in Russia. Did she ever stop to think that shit before she went over there with that shit? Now that she got caught with that shit, we supposed to give a fuck about that shit? Think about how many niggas in America who's in jail right now behind motherfucking marijuana. I'm gonna give y'all game on that. And another, I'll give y'all game. Here in Louisiana, I can't say nothing about her in Russia. Really, I can't give a fuck about her getting caught with weed in Russia because, 8 years ago, when I got caught with weed here in Louisiana, they tried to give me a life fucking sentence for selling marijuana. Do y'all realize in Louisiana you get more time for selling marijuana than you do for crack or methamphetamine? I know they're gonna shock y'all, but do y'all realize federally marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug? They're reducing the possession laws. Yeah, you get caught with a couple of joints up to an ounce, boom, you'll get possession. But get caught selling marijuana, that's a Schedule 1 drug, same as heroin, same as fentanyl. Did y'all really know that? Most of y'all didn't. So why should we give a fuck about a basketball player who took some weed to Russia when you got niggas here in Louisiana, around America, doing life behind marijuana? Here, she should have known what the fuck she was doing, or pay a little bit more attention to what she was doing. It was on Instagram say, my aunt had to go to Dubai for work, and before she went to her job, had her take a class on what she could and could not do. Really, that's common sense, man. Anytime you go somewhere, you're supposed to know. If I come to your house, I'm gonna ask you first of all, can I find this cigarette up in here? Is it okay if I drink this shot of whiskey? I'm gonna ask you at your house, what is appropriate for me to do? You mean tell me she took that weed to Russia and didn't think what was the laws in Russia regarding marijuana was? So we really can't give a fuck. I mean, yeah, we show sympathy, but I have no empathy for her. She made a fucked up choice. Did she come and help me beat that motherfucking life sentence that I was getting here in Louisiana behind some weed? Fuck nah. So we got off track. Let's go back. All Russia is doing, y'all, right now, they're not trying to occupy and overthrow the Ukraine like Israel is occupying the West Bank, the Gaza Strip. She might be gone for years. Guess what? She won't be getting high. When she get back, she'll be clean in the motherfucker. Her system will be clean. I mean, think about it. Again, she made a choice. She knew she made a choice. Exactly. She got to face the music. I just said that she made a fucking choice to go there. Either not giving a fuck about their laws or just being ignorant to their laws. But you know what they tell you here in America? Ignorance is no excuse for the law. First thing she should have did, well, I got damn near 2 ounces of weed on me. We finna go into Russia. We finna cross Russian borders. What? Wait a minute. She can pull her phone. Think about it. We in America, we use our phones for all kind of dumb shit. Watch twerking videos, fight videos, all this shit. Did she once ever use that phone to say, what are the laws for marijuana in Russia before I cross this border? Think about it. We got cell phones. They call it a smartphone. 9 times out of 10, our phones are smarter than us. Literally. Because she could have easily pulled up on her smartphone while she was on her way to fucking Russia and found out, should I throw this weed away before I get there? But now, she thought she was invincible because she played basketball. It is what it is. Once again, y'all, as y'all come in, man, we're going to roll a little bit longer with this video. Because y'all know me. Again, it's all due to you all comment. We got quite a few people commenting on this video, and that's what I really like, because your comments make this broadcast, any broadcast I do, your comments are the most important part, because it gives us a dialogue. It gives us more and more of a rabbit hole to go down as we talking about these things. Now, again, how could the United States be so fucking against occupying government when they ain't saying shit about Israel? How could they say the hypocrisy for us talking about Russia trying to occupy the Ukraine when we are illegally occupying Syria. Do y'all realize we got 3,000 American troops in the country of Syria stealing their motherfucking oil? We've been in Syria for 8 years illegally. We occupied Iraq. We occupied Afghanistan for 20 years. Think about this, y'all. Do y'all think we really want to fucking go to war with Russia when we couldn't beat a bunch of motherfucking goat herders in Afghanistan? We couldn't even beat a bunch of motherfuckers that don't even have running water, electricity, don't even have shoes in Afghanistan. We couldn't beat them in 20 years. Do y'all think we really want to fuck with Russia? And it's getting deeper now because notice, you're going to hear them talking more and more about a no-fly zone over Ukraine, which is the stupidest shit I ever heard of. Because that means if you're implementing a no-fly zone in a war zone where Russia is literally trying to destroy the Ukrainian military, they're not trying to destroy the Ukrainian people. They're destroying all those weapons that we have been sending the Ukraine. This is why Putin say the job is to, the goal is to denazify and demilitarize the Ukraine, because I'd be goddamn if I have Ukraine sitting right here on the front door of my border with all these weapons from the West. Brother Fear say, plus she bought drugs across the waters. That's like, that's international. That's not interstate drug trafficking. Brother Fears, you're right. That's international drug trafficking. America be throwing rocks and trying to hide their hand. Yeah, America is the biggest fucking bunch of hypocrites, because there's no way the fuck you can talk about Russia, even if Russia did want to occupy Ukraine. We are occupying Syria right now illegally. We have a proxy war going on for the last 7 years. We have been arming Saudi Arabia in their fight against Yemen, and Saudi Arabia, the most despotic and a devilish government on the planet. They have murdered over 300-some thousand people in Yemen using our weapons. So who are we to tell any motherfucking country what they can and can't do, where they can and can't go, especially when it comes to their country's security? All Vladimir Putin is saying, it would be damned if we let you all keep on sending these weapons to the Ukraine, which will eventually be used against us. Hey, Marissa, how you doing? Los Angeles in the house. Yeah, we thank y'all for coming in, wherever y'all coming in from. Please hit that like and share button. And again, I'm going to mention it from time to time. I ain't going to be like your preacher, put a guilt trip on nobody, but hey, I need a special blessing really before Wednesday. So if we can get 10 of y'all to donate $12, y'all realize that this shit gonna blow up for me, because I got a chance to do a job that's gonna change life for me as I know it. $5,000 ain't that much money, but with $5,000 you can get a car and a house. I ain't gotta be sleeping on nobody's couch no more and shit, you know. That ain't y'all fault, but it would be nice if you all really like what I do. Hit the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, man. 10 people donate $12. That's all it takes. I know a couple of y'all and donated hundreds back in the day, and it blessed us tremendously. We need that blessing now, especially if you like the truth. I mean, it's a small price to pay for the only black dude in America right now that's pretty much telling y'all this side of the story. Well, Brother Fierce, he's telling the truth. He's sharp. Really, one thing I love about the subscribers to this channel is you all, and not trying to brag on you all or stroke your ego or nothing, but you all are some of the most special people in creation right now, especially here in America, because you all seek truth. You all wouldn't be steadily subscribed and dedicated to this channel the way that you all are if you all were not dedicated to learning the truth. Most black people right now is on some motherfucking entertainment ass channel. We rather be entertained than informed as black people. We rather talk about dumb shit as black people as opposed to really being aware of what we're being lied to about by our government. Come on. Excuse me. Come on, we all know that America was built upon lies and falsehoods and deception. We all know this. So why would you believe anything that they tell you? I'm gonna show you. Look how they try to do it with COVID. And again, I gotta be careful how I do this because one more strike in the next 30 days or so, they're gonna take this channel down. I really don't want that, but at the same time, I'm not giving a fuck. Because at some point, the truth has to come forward. The only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. If the Creator has blessed me with the insight, I told my family to go to Sam and get bags of rice, beans, because the poop is going to, it's already hitting the fan. Look at the gas prices. Your grocery prices is going to go up as a result of your gas prices because you got to realize the trucks that transport your trucks and trains and other means of transportation that transport your vegetables to your grocery store got to pay higher gas prices now. And let me show y'all the hypocrisy. Do y'all realize all this is about Russia trying to keep Russia in check by putting military equipment along their border, but at the same time trying to stop Russia, who is the leading exporter of natural gas and oil in the world. Trying to break them. But guess what happens now? If you stop Russia from exporting its oil and gas throughout the world is going to experience significant, I'm talking about exponential hike in oil and gas. Hence, you see it here in America already. And Russia ain't even been in there 14 days yet. And you're seeing gas prices go up. But at the same time, Joe Biden, one of the first things he did when he got in office was shut down the Keystone Pipeline. Under the guise of we're trying to go green. They want everybody, this is what they really want. They want everybody in America to buy fucking electric cars. Motherfucker can't even afford to ride the bus in America in a lot of cases. How the fuck are people gonna buy electric cars? This whole thing is going to backfire on them because you're going to see not only gas prices go up, you're going to see food prices go up. You're going to see your electric bill go up. Russia, hey, Brother Fears, you be on it, man. You one of the few people that know this. Russia is the biggest supplier of fertilizer throughout the whole world. So how the fuck you going to grow wheat to make bread and flour? How you gonna grow lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers without the fertilizer that you need from Russia? Our government ain't that they didn't think this shit all the way through, Brother Fears. They didn't think this through at all. Because this goes back to the Project for a New American Century. And that's gonna be a whole new video where your government literally laid out an outline of all the countries that they wanted to overthrow in a quest to take over their natural resources. Let me get some more water. But anyway, thus far, I've been trying to give you all the history on what's going on and show you how we have been propagandized here in America to support a Ukrainian government that is racist as fuck by nature. Literally. No fertilizer, no farming, no food. Exactly. Do y'all think our government really thought about this shit? Now, you know why they don't think about it, they don't care? Because the military industrial complex gives them their marching orders. They tell them what to do. See all these people that voted for the old man Biden filling it out. They still ain't filling it out. They looking at Biden like he's a fucking hero. Only reason why Biden is doing this shit, man, because one reason he's trying to cover up the corruption that he was involved in with his son dealing with the Ukraine. Y'all don't remember that though, do you? They tried their best to suppress that shit, but Joe Biden's son was getting $80,000 a month from the most corrupt oil company in the world, Burisma, which is Ukrainian based. So much to the point that Joe Biden extorted the Ukrainian government and told them that they would not get this billion some dollars in aid unless they fire the prosecutor who was investigating his son. This shit is a fact. This is not me making up no shit. Brother Fizz, no. This is what's going on. Joe Biden is covering for that, and at the same time, Joe Biden's approval rating is way worse than Donald Trump's. So he got to do something to make himself look bold and bad and brave. And in reality, this motherfucker is an Alzheimer's patient. Joe Biden is not in control of this country, y'all. This man barely can form a sentence. Literally. He barely can form a sentence. So what's happening is the military-industrial complex, keep in mind, again, the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical complex, the private prison complex. Oh, that's a whole nother story. That's why they allowed all these immigrants to come in here. Do y'all realize once these motherfuckers come in here illegally, they put them in these detention centers? Just like they do us, lock us in jail, and the private prison system gets so much money from the federal government every day for every inmate they house. That's why they allow a lot of these illegal. One reason why they allow them to come in is because they detain a certain amount and they get almost $200-300, they get over 150, almost in some cases $200 a day per illegal immigrant that they detain. Second reason why they allow these illegal immigrants to come, because they need some new niggas. Because the Democratic Party does not have a platform. And they realize that a lot of black people are starting to see that they really don't give a fuck about us. What have they given us? Under Obama, now Joe Biden, going back to Bill Clinton, what have they ever given us, the Democrats? They ain't talked about no reparations. They ain't really talking about special program for jobs. They ain't talking about improving our public schools in our communities. But on Joe Biden's first week in office, he did something for the LGBT community. He did a lot for the Asians. Everybody gets something except us. So another reason why they letting all these immigrants come in, because they need new niggas. Well, this is the downfall of America, just like Rome. Exactly. You're witnessing the decline of America, and this whole thing with Russia is going to facilitate it. Now, keep in mind, y'all sit up here championing. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all, because the subscribers to this channel know better. But these ignorant motherfuckers in America are championing a war with Russia and don't understand that if all Europe and America come against Russia, guess what? You got to go against China, Iran, India. Even in this side of the hemisphere, this is the Western, you got to go against Venezuela. Do y'all realize we fighting a fucking war that there's no way the fuck we can win? Because if it turns into a hot war between the United States and Russia, guess what? You got to fight China too. So do y'all think we can win against Russia and China and India? Notice this. The most brutal and oppressive country on the face of the planet right now, Israel, They got pictures of Vladimir Putin all around that motherfucker country. He's a champion to them. Y'all didn't know that, did it? You know why? Because Israel know that we are arming neo-Nazis in the Ukraine. Please, y'all, do your research. And you better start doing the research right now, because Bezos using Amazon, using Google and YouTube, whatever, they're not going to let you research this shit. As you notice, they taking all the news organizations down. China has one of the big, China, believe it or not, China and Russia has outpaced us in advanced military weapons. China and Russia got weapons we cannot even fuck with right now. We talking about supersonic weapons and ballistic missiles. Do you realize China and Russia got hypersonic missiles? Shit that our country can't even shoot down, because these bitches coming at 5, 6, 7, 8,000 miles per hour. They got hypersonic ballistic missiles. And I'm showing y'all something. Russia is not really using their full military might in the Ukraine right now. Russia is basically using enough force to destroy the Ukrainian military and their weapons. That's what's going on. Duck, duck, go. Hey, you know what? Brother Fear, man, I'm gonna have to, damn, I can't do it on here. I'm gonna put my email address up. And on my email address, please hit my email address, Brother Fears, and I'm gonna give you my phone number personally. I love to talk to you. Don't nobody really understand what DuckDuckGo is, especially if you're using a Tor browser and then you're using DuckDuckGo. I should have did this. Well, it would have made a difference if I did this video, because I got DuckDuckGo on this phone here as a browser, but it would make it go different, because once it goes live on YouTube. And I hope y'all really pay attention to the video, because I'm going to have to erase it shortly after I do it, because I don't need nobody trying to get this channel blocked or banned. Let me look at y'all comments again. Jackson boy, look about China has one of the biggest military. Jackson say all this black folks need to come together. All them famous people, all us. That's why the only way we will survive if World War III comes. Now, we won't survive if World War III comes, because guess what they're going to do to the niggas? They're going to draft you, and put you on the front line as nigga. And also, you got to realize, black people, we got a certain group of black people in the elite echelon of black people. We call them the gatekeepers. Why is it that you got some black people will sit around and keep telling the rest of us that education is a problem and jobs is a problem, but these motherfuckers got 3 degrees and making $200,000-$300,000 a year? You know why they keep telling us that it's a problem? Because they want to discourage the rest of us, because if we get the 2 of the degrees that they got, we become a threat to their position. So you got a group of black folk that don't give a fuck about us. They'll make it seem like, yeah, we building a school, we doing this shit. That shit is really a tax write-off. They get money from 501c3s for that shit too. Now, you got a group of black people that don't want to see the black community in America as a whole progress, because once we all start getting degrees, we become a threat to their position and their status. Real shit. DuckDuckGo. Don't use Google to find anything out important, because you're not damn sure not gonna find nothing out. Google, like this page here, even on YouTube or Google, if you go in and type real news behind the news, it gonna come up with some shit say first page of 393,000. Guess what my shit at? 392,000 down. They don't want you to hear me. They don't want y'all to hear me. White or black people. They don't want nobody to hear me, because, again, I'm not pro-Russian, and I damn sure ain't pro-West American, Because we know as black people, especially by my ancestors being Cherokee Indian and African descent, we know how America look at their treaties with other countries. What country break more treaties than anybody on the planet in history? America. Don't use Google as a fact. Google is censoring things. Exactly. Google is taking out any news media or any point of view that's outside of what these folks telling you on TV. Fox, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, Bloomberg. Everybody has to go lockstep for the war agenda. Anybody that's telling you anything that's different than what they want you to believe to get you all hyped up to go send your kids to fight over in fucking Europe against some Russians who really only defending themselves from aggressive ass entity known as NATO. Most of y'all don't even know about it. That's another reason. It's two reasons. It was about three reasons. The oil pipeline, the Nord Stream 2, and trying to shut Russia down economically. That's why you're getting all these sanctions. The encroachment on Russia's borders by NATO. That's really the most important reason. But then the oil pipeline. And thirdly, is because the Ukrainian government is allowing them Nazis in the Ukraine to continue to murder Russian-speaking, Russian ancestral people in the Donbass area. This is why Russia is doing what they're doing. Russia is not trying to occupy the Ukraine. Russia is trying to demilitarize the Ukraine. And then here we go. We got motherfuckers talking about we should initiate a no-fly zone in the Ukraine. You know what Vladimir Putin said day before yesterday? Let a motherfucker try to implement a no-fly zone in the Ukraine. Whoever does will be considered as a participant on the Ukrainian side, and we will deal with them accordingly. Russia, Vladimir Putin feel like he ain't got nothing to lose, y'all. Hold on, let me read you up some more. Gatekeepers like Roland Martin. Oh, that motherfucking nigga there. Oh my God, Roland Martin is, anyway. Jesse Jackson. Farrakhan. All these niggas are gatekeepers, y'all. Yeah. Anyway, let's see, Roland Martin. Why do black folks in office in Shreveport, why does the black folks in office in Shreveport help out the city? Black folks in Shreveport in office ain't doing shit for black people. Really? Name one thing that they did for black people here in Shreveport. And you got a city council and parish commission that's predominantly black. But why is our neighborhood still so fucked? Is it because in order to become a black politician and climb the ladder, you got to get white money? Remember when they put Mayor Adrian Perkins in office? Who put Mayor Perkins in office? Who gave him that money? Y'all realize Bloomberg, the one who owned the media conglomerate, Bloomberg, gave Perkins a blank motherfucking check with the conditions that after your first 2 years, we need you to run against Senator Cassidy to go to the Senate. And Perkins, my boy, I'm gonna support him in this election, but he got his ass tore out the frame because black people in Shreveport, in order to get into an office, need white money. Because we as black people don't support motherfucking political candidates. Shit, we as black people won't even support the real news behind the black that's telling you the truth. I bet if I look at the Cash App right I ain't tripping off of it. Because if me myself, if I have to get out here and bleed this fucking block, that's what I do. I'm so glad that I went to school all my life, got all these certifications to that. Because if I can't get the support from the people who say they love what I do and support what I do, if I can't get the financial support for them, guess what I do? I go out to the streets where I know motherfuckers love me. And if I have to sell a little some of this, a little some of that to do what the fuck I need to do, that's what I'm gonna do. But I ain't trying to do that shit. Just like O'Gore, we talked about earlier, the basketball player. I'm not trying to put no more drugs in my motherfucking hand. I'm not trying to go out in these streets. I do this shit for free. Don't get noticed. Do y'all see sponsors? Even YouTube has demonetized all my videos. They will not even let me file the proper paperwork to reestablish my monetization. But I look at a lot of these motherfucking other YouTube channels, and just on the top chat, I'm seeing them do a 30, 40-minute live video, and they making $2,000 or $3,000 per live video that they're doing. And I asked 10 people to donate $12. Oh man, that nigga, it is what it is. But the same motherfucker that's talking about that nigga there always asking for money, they ain't got no problem with going to motherfucking iTunes and downloading NBA YoungBoy, do they? Beyonce, shit like that. They ain't got no problem supporting these fucking rappers and entertainers who are just doing that, entertaining you. Not giving you no motherfucker. Name me one entertainer in all America, black entertainer especially, that's gonna tell you the truth that I be telling y'all. They can't. Because you gotta look at it, they got sponsors. Notice I don't have no sponsors, so I can say what the fuck I wanna say, how I wanna say it. Because my whole thing is not about entertaining you, it's about enlightening you. How many of y'all can identify when I say I'm one of the few, maybe probably one of the only black YouTubers out of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that have content that challenges the status quo, that challenge the system. Ain't there another nigga finna challenge the system? They'll let a nigga come up here like Tariq Nasheed and all these, with all that pro-black power type shit. Most times these niggas are homosexuals or whatever anyway. They not really as pro-black as y'all think they are. But they'll let these people come up here and create division. You know why? Because division sells. They can use the Tariq Nasheeds and all these other quote-unquote pro-black niggas to create division between moderate black people. See, they got us fighting on so many levels that we cannot even begin to understand the fight that we really need to be fighting. One reason why these brothers around here killing each other the way that they are? We got a generation of warriors. A generation of warriors who fighting the wrong motherfucking battle because white supremacy, it does play a part, but it don't play the part that y'all think. White supremacy plays a part. Shit ain't got nothing to do with white supremacy. Now I can understand white supremacy in crime because just like me, if you're hungry and you got kids that's hungry and you made a couple of mistakes or you fighting the system, you're going to do whatever you got to do to feed your kids, meaning whether you got to go in the store or whatever and get what it is to feed your kid. But two niggas killing each other ain't got shit to do with white supremacy. Guess what? When two niggas going to do a drive-by, when somebody going to do a drive-by on another nigga, guess what? They not listening to no white boys like Pat Boone, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley. You know what they listening to? The Baby, NBA YoungBoy, who talking about going to kill a nigga while you driving to do that drive-by. Do y'all really understand how this shit go? Y'all hold on a second. My battery about to try to die. I'm not gonna let it die though. Oh, I just seen. Oh, I'm glad I just seen something. Thank you, Tarja. We really appreciate it. And again, this is how it goes. I've been doing this video for an hour and a half. Got a lot of good comments, questions, and whatever on the video, but ain't but one person hit the cash out. Soon as they turn this video off, getting all this beautiful knowledge that the creator has given me to give y'all, knowing that this channel gonna be put in jeopardy just by me telling y'all the truth about what's going on with Russia and the United States. This channel be blocked. And then 3 months from now, y'all be begging. What is boy Rob Thomas at you? What Rob Thomas doing that? I can't do it all, man, without you all's help. That's why I put down in the description section every time. This channel really can only survive. That's one reason why I don't be able to do videos every day, because I have to get out here and hustle. That's not you all's fault, and it's not you all's responsibility to help me. But if you all like what I'm doing, if you say you love what I'm doing, it shouldn't be nothing for you to hit that cash out. 10 people get $12. But guess what? 10 people will go, and again, they'll go to motherfucking Spotify and download all motherfucking Beyonce's music. You'll go to iTunes or whatever and download all these folks shit who really don't give a fuck about you. What if Beyonce, Jay-Z, NBA Youngboy, LeBron James, what are they really telling y'all about this shit in Russia? You know, they being quiet? Because even if they know the motherfucking truth, their sponsors will not allow them to tell you the fucking truth. ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, you know why they can't tell you the truth? Just look at their commercials. Their commercials are for the military-industrial complex. I'm very passionate about what I do. Let me read some more of you all's comments. Why black folks in office? I answered that. Remember, they are keeping their eye out for the black messiah. Who the fuck they gonna be? We know it ain't Jesus. Who is gonna be the black messiah? Let me brag for a second. Could I be the black messiah because I'm the one that's telling y'all the truth? And they are persecuting me and literally will probably try to crucify me after this video by taking this channel down. Could I be the black messiah? Not trying to brag or put myself up there, but what if I am the black messiah? Because how many niggas are telling you the shit that I tell you? How many niggas have the courage to stand up against power, white or black, and speak the truth on behalf of the voiceless? But yeah, I get no support. It's bad enough that YouTube will cross this video out. Even if they let it stand, they're going to bury this shit to the point where even if you type in the real news behind the news on YouTube, they're going to put up some niggas who talking about me for the first 3,000 pages. Before you even get a chance to see one of my videos, you're going to see 3,000 niggas talking about, we don't like this dude here because he's a troublemaker. I ain't no troublemaker. Why am I making trouble when I'm simply speaking the truth? Then Apostle Paul say, have I become your enemy simply because I speak truth? Now if I say, we offering sponsorship packages, who gonna want me to sponsor their business because I say fuck a lot? I say fuck that a lot. I say shit. I say nigga a lot. A lot of y'all wouldn't want me to sponsor your business, but they don't realize when it comes to business, that's totally different than this here. How many of y'all be willing to sponsor the real news behind the news by subscribing to the channel and making a monthly donation of $10? Ain't nobody gonna do that shit. But you'll go to one of these entertainers, one of these rapper pages, and pay $15 a month for their OnlyFans page. Some shit that's not gonna enlighten you in any kind of way. It is what it is. Let me get yourself a VPN so you can look at the news outside of America. That's the most important thing, Fierce. You got to look at the news outside of motherfucking America. Because if you're looking at this shit here in America, you're not understanding Operation Mockingbird. First and foremost, y'all know what Operation Mockingbird was? What it is? Briefly, I'm going to go into it. Operation Mockingbird was a program back in 1950 after World War II when the United States government realized how powerful propaganda was because they saw what Adolf Hitler did, and they took control of all your mainstream media sources, whether it be print, well, at that time it was mostly just print, then broadcast, and now internet. They don't want you listening to nobody but CNN, Fox, ABC, CBS, Bloomberg, and all these mainstream media channels who get their sponsorship from the military, the people who are making bombs to send to Ukraine, and Russia is destroying. That's who they want y'all to listen to because they sponsor Fox. I'm gonna show y'all some game. This is what y'all all you got to do. Record every news channel at their prime time. No matter what news channel it is, notice they all gonna say the same goddamn thing. Y'all know how I know this? I used to work in broadcast. I worked for an NBC affiliate here in Shreveport for a couple of years. I was able to see when I'm having to get these satellite feeds, I'm able to see in the background on certain news channels how they got generals sitting in the motherfucking studio to make sure that the reporters say what's on that script. If the reporter deviates from the script in one way, it costs them sponsorship. So you cannot be getting any kind of truth. Look at all the lies we were told about COVID. Do y'all realize the pharmaceutical company and military industrial complex are the main contributors to your politicians? So you're not going to get the truth from them. Had to be done. Russia ain't playing around. Fuck no, Russia ain't playing around because let me ask you a question. If me and you don't like each other, just say you living in Texas, I'm living here in Shreveport. I'm rich in a motherfucker. And I'm able to send weapons to wherever you live at in Texas and put them in your neighbor, your neighbor that live right here, in front of you and behind you. I'm able to put weapons in your neighbor's yard that's aimed at your motherfucking house. I live way in Louisiana, you live in Texas. What would you do if I had weapons in all your neighbors' motherfucking houses aimed at you? What would you do? That's what Russia is facing. Do y'all realize if you look at the map, go to a map and look at all the countries that NATO has incorporated in just the last 20 years, you're going to see that the majority of them are already lined up on Russia's border. Russia has no choice but to defend its motherfucking self. In order for black politicians to make and keep their money back, they can't do anything. Again, brother Phil, we got to talk. I would love to have you on the show, man, talk to you because motherfuckers not understand that. You got black politicians. Motherfuckers don't realize Barack Obama was nothing more than a black face on a white agenda. Let me show y'all a game. Do y'all realize, remember, right before Barack Obama even got inaugurated into office, and he commits to start 5 new motherfucking wars on behalf of the military industrial complex. Y'all don't want to hear that, but let me talk. Let's talk about Syria. Barack Obama started that shit. Syria was under Barack Obama. Yemen was under Barack Obama. Who murdered Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. You got Afghanistan, which we amped up. Instead of bringing the troops home, Obama amped up war and he amped up Iraq. Not to mention the continuous bombing of Somalia and other countries in Africa. Most times your black politicians can't fucking help you because they getting white money. Cause niggas ain't, how many of y'all donated actually to a black candidate in the last 20 years that ran for office? If a black candidate was really trying to do right for black people and depending on black people to support his candidacy, he wouldn't make it. Because most times we poor as fuck. We're the poorest people in America. How is it that we've been here 400 years? We've been here longer than anybody else, except the Indians and the white folk. And we still got the lowest percentage of population in America. Black candidates can't do shit for black people because most times they got to take white money in order to get to that office. Once they take that money, whoever money you take, do you realize you got to speak their message? Game is a motherfucker, bro. We got some Free Black saying, in order for black politicians to make their money back, most of them are disinfo channels spreading nonsense. Check out rapper K Rhino. He tells the truth. Willie D cool. I love Willie D, but Willie D is propagandized also because he will not listen to anything outside of a black point of view. Now, I speak that shit from a black point of view, but I speak what I believe is truth. I'm not finna be held in a position where I'm going to speak the propaganda. And even though I love Willie D, I watch his channel too quite a bit. He speaks a lot of propaganda because truth is, not judging my brother, and he's very intelligent, but he's ignorant to understanding that you can look at shit like Press TV or RT, or you can go use your phone and read information from other places in the world and find out a lot of truth. You'll find out more truth about America from listening to a motherfucking news source outside of America. Because if you're listening at this shit in America, you're going to be propagandized because that's where you get your sponsorship from. Your sponsorship, American media outlets get sponsorship from the people who make weapons. They get their sponsorship from the motherfuckers who make vaccines. Think about this. Them same people who made them vaccines and tried to force that shit in your arm got sued and just had to pay $600 billion to little white boys and little white girls for the opioid crisis. But niggas still doing life behind crack cocaine. You still got niggas that did 30 years and probably got another 15 years more to do behind crack cocaine. These same people who literally pushed the United States government to go in Afghanistan and steal all that goddamn opium are the same people who trying to push a vaccine in your motherfucking arm. Same people who created Lortab, Xanax, and all these opioids that got little white girls and little white boys out there addicted are trying to stick a vaccine in your arm. Notice when it was the crack cocaine epidemic, the pharmaceutical companies didn't give a fuck. They were actually closing rehabilitation centers down. Now that it's the opioid crisis, if you are addicted to opioids, please call this number. We can help. What a fucking help at for niggas that's still addicted to crack? Let's read some more y'all comments. Check your cash out. I just did. I don't know if that's you. I ain't gonna call. I don't like to call the names of subscribers out, but I just did. I see one donation of 10, and I am grateful for that. That means I'm only 110 away. So we can get 10 more people to send $10 more. I'll be cool. I can go do this motherfucking job. But anyway, let me read you all a comment. Some guy, come on, guys, send a little something to the brother. Thank you, Fierce, man, because They don't really understand. I cannot be consistent with this channel when every fucking moment of the day I'm up at 7 o'clock and working jobs. And again, I'm gonna just give y'all a brief. It's not nobody's fault. I got 3-4 degrees, bro, but I got 3 felonies. I fucked up. But instead of allowing them to close doors in my face, I created my own door. I remodel houses right here. Like today and yesterday, his report is cold and rainy as fuck. I mean, the one job that I could do, even though it's only like a $200 job, I can't fucking do that. I probably won't be able to do that till next week. So it's not like I'll be sitting up here begging and I'm just some kind of moocher. No, I'm out here, man, literally trying to build my own motherfucking kingdom, overcoming bad decisions that I made. Man, before this time last year, I was in my own motherfucking home, bro. Self-sufficient. Things happen beyond my circumstance. I've been pretty much homeless since April of last year. Struggling. But I'm not out there hustling. But if I have to, I get out there and hustle. But anyway, that's a different story. Fear say, come on, guys, send something to the brother, a little something. And all it takes is 10 people to send $10, $12, man. It'll be someone that brings the people together and fight against the elites. You're a soldier in this war. You are too, brother. Fierce. I don't know if you're male or female. I'm just start saying, but Fierce. Like I said, I really want to talk to you because you have shown just by your comments how much intellect that you got. Most people could not grasp hold to the fact that when I'm telling them that the United States and the West is really the bad guys in this shit that's going on with Russia. You're talking about Russia occupying the Ukraine, but you ain't saying a goddamn thing about what that apartheid government in Israel is doing to the Palestinians. And reason why that's so important to black folks is, do you realize the tactics that they learned from the Israelis that implemented on the Palestinians is the same shit that they do to you? Where you think they got the idea of putting that knee on George motherfucking Floyd's neck? They got that shit from the Israeli Defense Force. Your government here in America annually sends motherfucking members of the police departments, your local, state, or federal police department to Israel to learn the latest tactics that they developed suppressing the Palestinians. This is why I tell y'all, if you don't understand international, you'll never understand, have a clue what's going on in your own motherfucking neighborhood. The weapons that they have left over from these illegal wars that we have been participating in overseas, where do you think the weapons wind up at? Why do you think your police look like motherfucking military? That's where them weapons wind up at. They are preparing you for a martial law here in America. And if we do happen to be a fool enough to implement a no-fly zone in Ukraine, you will be at war, full-fledged. Because first thing Putin gonna do is shoot any plane down that tries to stop him from demilitarizing a country that's a threat to his national security. And we sit up here, I stand with Ukraine. Hey, fuck that. You standing with a bunch of Nazis? Any motherfucker that sit up here and say they standing with Ukraine has no clue of what's going on in Ukraine. They are a puppet. Because if you understood what was going on in Ukraine, you would understand that the Ukrainian government, using the Nazis in their military, murdered 13,000 people in just the last year. And that's one of the reasons why Putin is going over there dealing with these folks. Notice the first thing that he did, he went over there, when he went into Ukraine, he went into the Donbass area. That's where the Ukrainian Nazis were murdering all those citizens. He recognized them as legitimate states at first, and then once he recognized them, he went in. This shit here did just not happen the day that Putin went into motherfucking Ukraine. The situation with the Ukraine been building for 8 years, ever since the United States, under Barack Obama, overthrew that government illegally. It'll be someone that brings people together. This is how you can tell the news is the same. In the morning, when you're watching the news, notice how the news people are dressed. They all wear the same colors. UN is trying to do Putin what Roman did to Caesar. The Israeli military changed the Pope. Exactly. See, Fred, we got to talk. The Israelis train a lot of your police departments in America, and then you wonder why we getting shot down in a motherfucking street. Do y'all realize now here in America, they don't want the best, intelligent, and I just say righteous people to be on your police department. They want motherfuckers who will shoot you for no reason on these police departments. This is where them getting the police here in America prepared for martial law. Well, I've been going for 2 hours. I've been going for 2 hours. 2 hours, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end this video. We're gonna do we'll bring another one to y'all tomorrow. Again, please, y'all, as y'all come in, man, hit that like button for it, hit the share button. Make sure that you're subscribed and hit that bell to get notifications. Again, I asked the question. I asked of our subscribers to help us out, help me out here at this channel, make a small donation. We probably got about 50, 60 people already watch this video. Please, can out of 56, can we get 10 more, y'all? Somebody just made a donation. Jackson Boy said World War III. Yep, that's what it's going down to. World War III. In our country, I don't know what the fuck is either our politician, they got an alternative plan, or they just that fucking stupid that they would literally be instigating a fucking war with a country that they can't beat. We sit up here and talk about how great our military is. We cannot fuck with Russia pretty much by themselves. But guess what? If we go to World War III, not only do we have to fight Russia, we got to fight China, probably India. No, for a fact, we're going to have to fight Iran. Do y'all realize we're going to have the most powerful countries outside of the United States on the face of the planet aligned against us in World War III? And we too stupid here in America to say, hold on, pump your brakes, politicians. Fuck Ukraine. If y'all stop sending them weapons, Russia wouldn't be in their country in the first place. That's really what it's about. We're sending them weapons to aim at Russia. And Russia say, fuck that. Guess what? The tens of, think about it. We done gave these folks almost $1 trillion worth of weapons in 6 months. And Russia is over there destroying every piece of artillery that we gave them folks. And these same folks telling y'all that Vladimir Putin is evil. Again, I am not a Putin fan, but I am a fan of the truth. I understand what Putin is doing. He's not doing nothing that you and I would not have done if your family is being threatened by a hostile entity. It's already been written. That's gonna go down when I talk about the project for the new American century, Fierce. But anyway, go. Hey, I thank y'all for joining me, man. Please like, share this video. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna let it stay up for a couple of hours and try to let as many people see it. But I'm going to eventually have to shut this video down because I might have said too much and I can't afford another strike. We know how people like to to complain to YouTube about this channel simply because I speak the truth. And the motherfuckers that do complain about this channel, guess what? All you gotta do is come on and debate me. Instead of calling these motherfuckers, guess what? You niggas will call motherfucking YouTube and Facebook police on me for speaking the truth. But a nigga can kill your nephew 2 streets up. You won't call the police to get justice for him. You won't snitch. You gangster. You won't snitch on a nigga that's killing folks in your neighborhood, terrorizing your neighborhood. 2 niggas holding neighborhoods of 5,000 people hostage. You won't call the police on them because you're scared. You're talking about, I ain't gonna snitch. Now you're a fucking coward. You're scared. That's why you won't call the police on them. But I get on YouTube or Facebook and say some shit that offends you. You'll call the Facebook police or YouTube police on a nigga. because a nigga said some shit that offended you, and you'll try to get my shit blocked. Craziest shit I ever heard. Please, y'all, hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure that you subscribe. Again, I'll make this final plea. I don't see but one person thus far, but if you all feel like that you like what I do, or you want to see me continue to make this channel the best that it can be, one of the best on YouTube, hey, hit the Cash App, hit the Venmo. The information is down at the bottom. Please. Till y'all see me tomorrow, man, I thank you. Y'all have a wonderfully blessed and prosperous night.